I'd like to call to order the Finance Committee meeting for August 26, 2025 at 5:45 p.m. Attendance roll call.
Alderpersons Wolf. Oh, Alderpersons Wolf is absent.
No, he's here.
He's walking in. Okay. Should we wait?
No, you can.
Okay. Hamel,
Here.
Bryce. Here.
We have a quorum.
We have a quorum present.
Thank you. Statement of public notice.
The meeting was noticed in accordance with the open meeting law on Friday, August 22nd, 2025.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes from the Finance Committee meeting on August 12th, 2025. Move to approve. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That passes. New business, 2024 audit presentation. You should have a packet, and you do have a thing in front of you if you want to follow along. You're on.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Wendy Younger, partner with Baker Tilly, here to present the 2024 audit results. I believe in your packet you have a one-page handout, which is the document that I will use to summarize the other two documents that you receive as part of the audit process, the audited financial statements and the reporting and insights document. I'm going to keep this at a relatively high level. If you do have any questions, please feel free to ask. I will do my best to address those as I move through the presentation. So as I start the presentation, I note the audit process. So the audit process, we select a team of individuals from Baker Tilly, which this year we did insert some additional or newer people. Like to bring in a fresh perspective and a different approach to the audit. So we did add a couple new individuals. We develop our audit plan based on the risk assessment that we have for the city. So we look at the various controls that exist over the various transaction cycles. And once we determine how those controls are working, then we develop our audit process. As part of the audit process, we do look at testing the year-end account balances. This year we did for the city prepared the audited financial statements as an additional part of the audit process. I'm very happy to say that the audit results, the opinion that we've issued is a clean, unmodified opinion. That is the highest level of assurance that you can obtain from us as your auditors. And again, a very positive result. That clean opinion means that the financial information is believed to be materially accurate. All disclosures that are required to be included have been, and that generally accepted accounting principles have been adhered to. Before I get into some high-level financial information, I'm going to quickly touch on the one document that we do issue as part of the audit process, and that is the reporting and insights document. That is a document that has a solid green cover. And really that document accomplishes a few different purposes. One, we use that to communicate some customary common items that we need to share with you as part of the audit process and as your auditors. We also utilize that document to share any additional comments or recommendations that may come up as part of the audit process. And we are also required to communicate any material weaknesses or significant deficiencies in internal controls that may come up as part of the audit process. So included in that report for 2024, we do have a material weakness. As I noted when I began the presentation, we did prepare the audited financial statements. We did have one material journal entry that came up as part of the audit process, and therefore we have communicated that as a material weakness. That type of material weakness in internal control is because we, as your auditors, become part of your internal control structures for a very brief period of time. So again, that is included in there. That is not something that is unusual or unexpected for governmental entities. But again, I do want to draw your attention to that. We also had a comment in that.
Hang on a second.
Oh, sure.
You said weaknesses. What am I looking at here?
Yes, it would be located on.
In this?
Yes, and it would be on page. Let me just get to that document.
Page 6.
6?
Yes, it's
I just
highlighted
wanna-
on
I just
page
wanna know what
6
you're
and the
talking
top
about.
of page 7. So again, we highlight the financial statement preparation. We also highlight on that page, there was some just segregation of duties, I would say, issues due to the turnover in finance during 24. Not all processes could be adjusted appropriately and timely to achieve full segregation. So we did add some additional comments regarding reconciliations and proper review and approval, expecting those to change going forward once the department is fully staffed.
Okay, and when was this given to staff to do those corrections?
The report was
Is that
issued,
July
I believe,
29th?
July 31st.
Okay, I see July 20,
End of
okay.
July.
I just
Of course.
for my knowledge, that's all. Okay,
Yep,
thanks.
no problem. As I noted, also included in that document are some comments and recommendation. One talks about just journal entry review and approval. All journal entries are reviewed and approved, but the documentation of that review and approval process is not maintained. So just making a recommendation to keep that documentation, because without the proper support, hard to determine for sure that that is actually being done. So just an other comment and recommendation. The other item I would just highlight in that report, there are always new governmental accounting standards, or GASB's effective for governments, and there's 3 new ones that are coming up in the next year or two. They are included in that report, 102, 103, and 104, and we'll work with finance to make sure that the city is implementing those as appropriate. Don't expect any of those to have a significant impact. Switching gears then and quickly going over some financial highlights. One thing I would always remind you of, there is a document included in your audited statements. It's referred to as management's discussion and analysis. That is a very high-level Cliff Note version of what happened at the city for 2024 compared to 2023. So I encourage you to take a look at that. Again, very high-level summary, but a good narrative of what has happened during the year. One thing I will remind you, that management discussion and analysis, which immediately follows the opinion within your financial statements, is on a full accrual basis of accounting. So that also gets in to point number 2 on my presentation. The very first schedules included within the audited statements of the city follow a different accounting methodology than your day-to-day operations. So there is some adjustments that get made, and some very large numbers are included in those topside statements. I'm not going to go through those in any detail. It's not the way you manage your organization, but they are required to be included, again, based on a governmental accounting standard that came about 18 years ago, GASB 34. But going on then to number 3 in the presentation, this is where I have highlighted the operation results of your general fund. So this is the city's day-to-day operating fund. This is where most of your day-to-day activities flow through. This is where you present your revenues, your taxes, your intergovernmental revenues, and ultimately the expenditures related to general government, public safety, public works. Just a couple items to highlight in there. Overall, a very strong result for the general fund for 24. You budgeted to break even. You actually added over $1 million, $1,069,000 to the general fund balance as of the end of the year. Reason for that? Really twofold. One, the largest portion of that, very positive investment income results. 24 was an excellent market year, so therefore investment income came in over budget by roughly $900,000. And then ultimately within your expense categories, you did budget for some contingencies that you ultimately didn't use, and that was another $90,000 of positive variance. So again, overall general fund added $1,069,000 to fund balance, and ended the year at, ended the year at $9.3 million of fund balance. There's different pieces to that, but the important part is the city does have a policy that requires 17% of the fund balance to be in an unassigned format, to be set aside for working capital. That equates to $3.5 million, and you had $9.2 million in unassigned. So a very favorable result that allows you some flexibility, allows you very positive results when you go to the bond market. Rating agencies look at that as a very favorable situation. Moving on then to the other funds of the city, the sewer and water utility are included within the city's financial statements. Both of those had very consistent activity with the previous year. Both of them saw a decrease in net position, and both of them saw a decrease in their cash position. The sewer utility ended the year at 13.9 million of cash, and water ended at 3.4 million of cash. So both had significant cash activity, but both of them did see a small decrease in their positions during 24. The next point that I've included in there highlights the long-term obligations of the city. There are extensive footnotes that highlight this in more details. The most important part, no new debt was issued during 24, and the city paid down $2.7 million of principal on its general obligation debt. That left the general obligation debts as 29.1 million as of the end of the year. Another important thing to look at when we talk about your long-term obligations is what is your borrowing capacity. You can borrow up to 5% of your equalized value. That's $252 million. You had 29 million outstanding, so the difference between that, roughly 230 million, is your borrowing capacity going forward. So if you went to the bond market, that is the max that you would have been able to borrow at that point in time. So again, very solid and very good borrowing capacity as of the end of the year. The last item I've included on here is the net position and fund balances. There's, again, an extensive footnote. In addition to the general fund, the city has 16 additional funds that account for various activities. You have a debt service fund where you levy a tax, you make principal and interest payments. That fund had a positive addition to it during the year and ended the year at 173,000 of fund balance. You do have an ARPA fund, and during 2024, you did approve the use of the remaining funds that were in your ARPA fund. So that fund is now zero. And just a reminder that the ARPA funds are monies that came in through the federal government in 2 tranches a couple years ago. They were to be used for various projects that the city deemed necessary. So again, that fund zeroed out during 24, which it should. 24 was actually the last year to spend those monies unless you had legally committed those to a future project. So that fund is over, and those monies were used for the Hillendale project. In addition to the ARPA, there are a significant list of additional funds that are included back on page 81 of your audited financial statements that include your park fund, your refuse fund, a lot of additional funds. All of them saw a very positive activity during the year, nothing unusual or unexpected in any of those funds. And then the last fund that the city does have is your capital equipment fund. That fund during the year had roughly 3.9 million of expenditures, one of the larger funds with activity. And that is, again, where the Hillendale project was recorded, had some additional revenue sources. Again, ARPA money was spent. That ARPA money went into that fund as revenue, along with some transfers out of the water utility. The last item that I've noted on the one-page presentation, I've included my direct line, my email address. I am happy to speak with any of you in more detail to discuss the results, what we do, what we don't do, but I'm also happy to answer any questions you might have now.
Any questions from anyone? Alderman Schrader?
I want to thank you, Wendy, for the presentation. This is great information. I am going to request a couple of documents for the entire council for next meeting, September 9th. And if you could be there as well, that would be for some questions on September 9th. And they all pertain to Hillendale Road project. And I have a handout for you. I don't know if you want to just grab this from me. I'm requesting an updated spreadsheet of the summary of the Hillendale Road project in the exact same format we have it that I'm giving to you right there. Detailed ledger of the transactions with the account numbers, and a final report that was submitted to the government entity that provided the ARPA funds. So if you could,
We'll work to do that. Okay,
okay, if Jenny's going to get it, that's fine, but I want an audit review from you.
sure. And on September 9th, what time is that meeting at?
Well, before you do that,
Okay,
one alderman can't do that.
okay.
Because I'm guessing there's a fee to bring you back, right?
Making a motion then?
Well, it's not, can we do that?
Yeah, she can make a motion.
Okay, yeah.
Is that what you need? A second for a motion? Then I'll second it.
Discussion? We don't know. So she's asking to have the auditor come back
Next,
With bring some
next
information.
meeting with documents that Jenny could provide,
right, and I want them to be, I have an audit review from Wendy.
which
And her
is going to be an
available for
additional
questions.
fee. So I'm guessing, I'm wondering what we're paying for.
And I guess I would ask, as long as I second it, you're asking for documentation and an explanation from the auditor? Is that's what you want?
An audit review from Wendy on the documents that I've requested, yes.
Okay.
Specific all to Hillendale project. And I want to get full clarity on this.
Well, you know, when I asked about weaknesses, I went to that page. And when I went to the next page, I see material corrected. And it's the same amount that the Hillendale was. So that's why I second what you asked for, just for clarification.
I'm sorry,
So-
I'm new. Is this audit going to cost, her
I will
audit
have
going
to
to cost
look at,
money?
again, this is the first time seeing this, so I need to look at what this is and what is being asked. I can provide whomever is the right person with a potential fee for the work, and then you can decide if you want me to do it.
Okay.
So yes, there will be a small nominal fee for me to do. probably.
Alderman Madden.
Can we just get a written explanation from her rather than bringing her back and paying for that?
I would think you could.
Well, she just said she's available for any questions or anything we need to know. I'm asking for all the information for the entire council. I don't think this is an unreasonable ask.
Well, the information is no problem. That we have those internal, we can have her respond. You asked her to come back, and that's.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
she's a
in
consultant
case we have any questions.
Well, wouldn't you rather get Alderman Hamel?
I think it would be helpful to know what the cost is, if we could have the cost breakdown by the next meeting to see what the actual cost is. You know, if it's,
Wendy, can you give us a ballpark cost on what it would be for you to come?
$2,000,
$2,000 for you to come back.
yes. That's 3 hours of my time. That would be whatever effort I need to put in to come up with this information, which I don't have all of this. So I will need to work with Jenny to get some of this information. So me coming back, the reason I ask, I do believe I have another common council meeting on 9/9. So I
Okay.
need to look at that. That's why I
Okay,
asked.
that's fine. So just for clarification, if you don't come back, just to get you to audit the information Jenny's going to give you, which I think is a reasonable ask, there should be no fee involved for that.
There's, again, probably somewhere between $750 and $1,000 for that. Right, for me to do that additional work. Because, again, I'm not sure.
Was
Shouldn't
the
this
work-
be included in what,
Wasn't the work already done?
yeah, shouldn't this be included in what
But
we
if you're
pay for
asking
when
for
we?
it- If you're asking for it in a format like this, I don't have this format, so I'm going to have to put this format together. Unless somebody has this document
I don't know
that
what she
can be
has.
shared with me, and then I can audit it.
Yeah, I would think Jenny would hear. Jenny, I can give it to you. You want to take a look at it?
I'm fairly certain that was our previous finance director's document. I may not have it, though. It still would need to be created.
So you can create it, you can provide it to Wendy.
We're not trying to hide anything. I'm just trying to do this in such a way that doesn't cost us extra money needlessly. So-
Right, I can absolutely create it. I think she's talking about her fees to review it as well.
Right. I mean, I
Because she
will,
has to get all the backup documentation and find out where the numbers that I put on this spreadsheet are coming from, you know?
well, and a lot of them look familiar. So again, I would say a not to exceed fee of $2,000 for time and to do the additional work.
I'm so sorry. So you didn't already get these documents? Was this stuff already provided to her? Because she said something about Hillendale before, and it,
Hillendale was project, right?
Yeah, and that was
She
already
audited
provided
our
to her?
financial statements and everything we provided to her. This is an extra ask. She wants an audit of specifically all the details of this project, not what's in our statements. Like the nitty gritty.
Diving farther.
So let me clarify though, we have audited the numbers. These numbers, again, look familiar and I have data. If you want me to present it in this exact format, somebody has to either give me this document, because it will take time for me to populate it, or somebody else needs to populate it and then I review it to make sure it agrees to our audited information.
Okay, help me understand
either way,
this.
it costs
So
money.
we want you
just less.
to look at the numbers you already looked at
Yes.
and you've already audited and just make them look different because of a different sheet. And you're just putting them in a different format, but they're the same numbers.
It's a summary of the project. It's the Hillendale.
A
project
detailed summary.
summary that you couldn't go to our audited statements and pull this number and this number easily to get to the same data.
But
So
the results won't be different.
No.
You don't know that. I want to see a detailed
So no.
accounting of the Hillendale. That's what I'm asking for. And the final report submitted to the government that was provided for the ARPA funds.
So you're looking for exact expenditures coming from each general ledger and what
Exact.
they were used for.
Correct.
Can't we just provide that? We can provide all that
Jenny's got
information.
No, that's right.
And here's my concern is last year's budget was tight, this year's budget was tight. If I remember correctly, we were nitpicking over $1,000 here, $3,000 there, $6,000 there. Now we're looking to spend a little bit more money. So I'm personally a little bit confused. I have no problem with making sure the numbers are correct, but I guess looking to cut a little bit of money here to get numbers in line and then looking to spend more money here. I don't know, and I don't know if I'm going down the wrong road here. You can stop me if I am.
Why don't we provide you the numbers that she's asking internally? We can provide that to each of the aldermen. We can probably have that in the next week or so. You guys can review it. And if at that point you want something further done, you can do it. But why not look at the free route first?
And since we're kind of on the budget here, and if I can't
we're
speak,
not.
well, the results, and this happened last year, what did the flooding do? How much did that set us behind in the rain that we had?
We won't know that for months.
So that's
A lot,
an
millions,
unknown on
millions.
what the cost
Yeah.
will be on that.
Yeah, correct. First of all, and actually I should back this all up because actually the motion was inappropriate. This is finance, so it has to come from a finance committee member. So the whole motion's off the table right now because
Well, we're going to move it up to council anyway, right?
well, yeah, but the motion has to come from
Yeah,
a
so
finance
I'll make
member.
the-
And then at council, we don't have it on the agenda, so you can't talk about it. So you either, the finance committee can make that same request, but it has to come from finance.
Well, I'll make the request, good or bad or like or dislike, when an alderman has a question and been voluntarily thrown out there, do you have any questions or concerns, contact them. I always say if I'm for or against something, I always second it so we can discuss it and move it up. So I'll make the motion so that we can get this on course and move on from it and get the answers that one council member is looking for.
What is the motion? Can you please make
What is
that?
it for? Is it,
The exact same thing that she said. So she'd like this reviewed in detail and explained. I mean,
But she
that's
said
what I got of
audited.
it.
Is that- is
That's
your
all
motion-
I'm looking
is
for.
your-
And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because she mentioned weaknesses, and I don't remember really looking at that before, and I turned to that page, and I turned to the next page, and I see the dollar amount was close to the Hillendale project, and it says water fund, so I'm guessing that's what that was without reading all this. So I said, okay, let's get the information out and be done with it. So that's where I'm at. So I'll make the motion. I don't know who else is on finance. If you want to second it, if not, we'll just wait till.
Do you want the specific language to make the
We'll just take
motion?
your language as you said before.
Yeah,
and
that's
then-
fine. He's just mimicking yours.
And
So,
then, if you guys don't want to do it, then we'll wait till a council meeting comes up and we'll second it then. So why don't we just move it forward now? And like I said, I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt when they have a motion to move it to the next level.
Not on the agenda for council.
Well, not this time, but it can be on, it can be on a council, because if it doesn't vote
And-
now, I'll request it to be on a council member. Council.
is there a second?
Can I amend it?
I was
No,
gonna,
no, well, you can't amend it. You would have to.
Second it first.
It could die and you can make a new motion. Do we need?
Or second and amend
She
it.
has another
I'm
meeting
okay.
scheduled.
I'm
Are you okay? Okay.
They
All right.
moved it to next week.
All right. I'm sorry, what?
could I make a different motion?
If it dies without a second, are you guys going to second it?
I'm not seconding it.
Okay, it dies for lack of a second.
Well, then I'll be
All
requesting
right, can
it.
I make a new motion then?
Yes.
So my motion would be to have Jenny get us all the information, all the line items to the council for us to review before the next common council meeting, but not send it for money yet. Does that make sense? Did that make sense?
I'll second that because that's what I was going to suggest.
Any further discussion from finance?
No, I'll make a motion on top of that motion,
So you're making an amendment?
an amendment.
Okay.
That if we do that, then I think the original request was because of her voluntarily saying, come to me with questions, and we have a person asking the auditor for questions, it should be answered by the auditor.
Well, you can ask any information you get, then you can ask her
Yeah,
about
but
it.
that would be done independently. I would like to have that brought back to council, because we brought it up in council and we're asking for it at council, and it should be answered at council. That's how I think it should be done, but what do I know?
Why don't we get you the information and we'll take your lead from it after that, okay?
And do what?
We'll take your lead from, who's ever lead from, after you have the information, you'll have the information in front of you. If you want to take it to the next step, we can do that.
Yeah, I'd like to have it, my motion is to have the auditor answer it and have the council answer it as a whole, because I'm going to get this in front of me. I'm not an accountant.
But you're willing to take a call from any of us?
Yes.
You want to, then we're all going to call her? I mean, I just want an answer. I mean, we got an alderman looking for an answer for something, just give her an
Why don't
answer.
we, at this point, if you're okay with it, I will plan to be here on September 9th. I will not do anything else except show up on the 9th unless I'm directed by one of you to do some work before that. I will be here the 9th and I will do my best. I would appreciate the information being shared with me so that I can be prepared. And then I will answer any questions that I can that night. All I need to know is what time is that meeting at. And if you decide you don't need me, then cancel me.
Well, I
And if
think we
don't
can
get it on my
decide that right now on
calendar,
our
then I'm
vote,
gonna
right?
move on.
It still has to go to the agenda, but the other part is, we have a motion to amend at this point. Is there a second to the motion to amend?
I'm not sure what your amendment was.
It's essentially just.
You're
he's
the
adding-
same thing, just having the auditor explain it to us. Explaining the results that,
So her coming here would be fine? Is that what you're saying, on the 9th?
or in some
There's a
form,
fee for it, but I mean, it's minimal.
we need an explanation from the auditor. I think that's what your request is. I'm just going with the request to get what one council member is asking for, to get the results. I mean, I'm always in favor of information, good or bad.
We're not changing the information. We're trying to get you the
I'll
information.
second
I'm not an accountant.
I only asked for line by line accounting of it and having Wendy audit what's provided. The line by line accounting with
Yeah.
the account numbers, detailed ledger, and the final report that was submitted to the government entity that provided the ARPA funds.
You know, and it's funny you brought it up, because when I saw this, as you call it, and maybe you can explain that now, as long as, if you have time, but material corrected misstatements, I have no idea what that means. I'm not an auditor. And to me, when I see that, it's a red flag in my mind.
It's not.
I'm just saying, it is
Yeah, it's
just in my
not.
mind. But again,
Very
I'm not an
common.
accountant, so.
Yeah, I mean, a material audit adjustment is, as we work through the audit process, obviously, as we're auditing data, there may be things that come to our attention that were journal entries that should have been made that weren't made as part of the year-end close. So the journal entry you're referring to is the transfer of ARPA money out of the ARPA fund into the water utility. That just was not done as of year-end. That is what that movement was.
So it was missing, not
It wasn't-
misclassified?
It was still sitting in the ARPA fund. It needed to get out of ARPA because
Because it-
that fund had to close.
Because it was
And we
used.
moved it into water where it was spent.
Okay.
But you're still looking for the details of how that happened.
Yes.
So that's fine. I mean, we get an explanation and,
Well, it's not fine. I don't have a second to your amendment, so that's what I'm waiting for.
yeah, okay, sorry.
I'll second that for it to come back.
So essentially, you're going back to his motion that you didn't second the first time.
Well, no, I thought we're going to Jenny first.
No.
That's
he
what
wants-
it was.
He wants,
Yeah, we're gonna go to Jenny first, get her the information, and then have her explain it to us.
but that's what we're
Well-
talking about.
No.
I mean, that's kind of what I said, right? I think that's what I said. I mean, does she have to physically be here to explain
Yeah.
it to us, or can
Can,
she?
can we do this?
Can we just get a-
We'll have
Let's,
Jenny.
let's
cre-
go back to the
We'll have Jenny
original
create,
one. Yeah.
just have Jenny create the information. We'll send it to you guys. At the same time, we'll send it to them. We'll pay the couple, the $1,000 to $2,000. She can give a written response back. She doesn't need to show up for that. If you have questions from the written response, then you can either ask those individually, just like you could, if something that pops up now, because this was sent to you earlier. That way you can get your answers
Okay.
question. It's probably a lot cheaper
I
way
don't
and
have a
more,
problem
more
with that.
efficient. So if you're okay with that, someone make that motion. It's $1,000 to $2,000. I mean,
Or
I
$1,000
don't
if
want
you
to
don't
waste
show
it,
up.
but it seems that
That's
we're.
what-
Or less.
I want to be as open as we can on this, so let's just.
Yeah, that's
get-
what, as long as someone has a question, I just want an
I mean,
answer.
if we can avoid $1,000 to $2,000, I'd be happy to, but it doesn't seem we're going to, so let's just do it. Because otherwise, there's going to be this cloud, and I don't want any clouds out there.
I don't object to Councilmember Schrader's wanting us to all get a line-by-line item.
Yeah.
What I object to is spending like $2,000 on a wild goose chase that a few people in this room want to have, is what my problem is.
Like I,
What?
and before, what I said was, over budget time, we were nitpicking $1,000, $3,000, $6,000 here and there. And now we're looking to spend $2,000. I understand wanting to get the information as well. But if Jenny can provide that,
I asked Jenny to provide it.
Wait, this is finance. Let me get their questions, and then I'll take yours.
and if Jenny can provide that, and we can review it, that's good. If we have questions, I think then we can go back to Wendy.
I'm for if we all just get the information for free.
When we get the
if
information,
we
we
have
have lots of time.
questions, we can
This is something
then-
from the past. We're not undoing it, so. You can always ask for that in the future, after you have it.
What motion's on the table?
So we have
I
a
think
first
my
and a
motion
second.
is-
You withdrew your second to his amendment?
I'll withdraw, yeah.
Okay, so the amendment dies. We have a motion on the floor. Right now is essentially to give you the internal documents. You can review it, and if you want to request more after that, we can have another discussion. All right,
Is that been first and second?
yes.
Yeah.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
Passes 2-1.
So I'm doing nothing.
You're doing nothing until we tell you to do
Please tell me
something.
what I'm doing.
You're good right now.
Doing nothing right at this moment. Okay.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you, Wendy.
All right, recommend approval of a resolution of eligibility for exemption from the county library tax levy for 2026.
Motion to approve.
Second.
So everyone knows what this is. Essentially, we have certain amounts of spending that we have to do within our own library to be exempted from the countywide property tax assessment for the library system. If having our own system, if we spend enough, we don't have, our property owners don't pay an additional tax like you would in a community that doesn't spend as much or doesn't have a library. It's a federated library system, so we all share information. The ones that, this is a way of making sure that the ones that are providing that information aren't being taken advantage of by the ones that don't. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that passes. Voucher approval.
Recommend approval of utility vouchers in the amount of $102,230.64.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that passes.
Recommend approval of tax vouchers in the amount of $3,735.68.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes.
Recommend approval of general fund vouchers in the amount of $633,073.84.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes.
Recommend approval of wire transfers for payroll invoice transmittals in the amount of $460,173.21.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Finance Director's report. Within your packet, you have a summary from Jenny of where we are through the second quarter of the year. Any questions on any of that?
I'm just still looking at the bottom line here. No questions for me.
Any questions from anyone else? Any questions from any members of the council? All right. A motion to adjourn would be in order.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned at 6:23.